Okay, so today's topic is going to be Biden's open border policy puts legal American citizens last. I think that's what we'll call it. Getting to the point, this is what I want everybody that watches this video to do, and you can listen to the rest of it or you can't, doesn't matter. I want you to call your federal representatives if you're a citizen of the United States. That's 202-224-3121. And what I want you to tell them is basically this. At a time when millions of American businesses and jobs are in jeopardy due to this plandemic, how can we justify bringing in a single additional immigrant into the United States? Okay? I believe that every single one of these illegal immigrants that have come into this country, as great as they are, should be immediately deported. Every single one of them. Now, so that's the main point of me doing this video tonight. I mean, these people have to be sent back. I mean, we are probably going to experience a massive depression in the wake of the spending of all these trillions of dollars, you know, like money grew on trees. And there's no reason we should be letting anybody else into this country right now, legal or illegal. Anyway, so now that I've said that, I'm going to relax a little bit. I'm finishing a pint. I'm not driving anywhere tonight. So anyway, this is kind of my man cave. I used to grow weed down here, and now it's kind of becoming like a little music room for me, you know, so I can sing without anybody hearing me. So let me start out this way. I self-identify as a perennial hippie. I basically think the vast majority of people, regardless of their race, their religion, their politics, are good people. I believe, like Martin Luther King, that we should judge people by the content of their character, not their race, their religion, whatever. And I mean, I live in Dearborn. I've got great Muslim neighbors. I have no complaints. I've done a lot of things in my life. You know, I've published a magazine, I worked in medical research, I was a systems analyst in healthcare for most of my career. I ran for U.S. Congress. In 1996, I ran against John Dingell. That would be 25 years ago. I had 3 planks in my agenda. I wanted a 20-year moratorium on both legal and illegal immigration. I wanted to stop the offshoring of jobs to China. Gee, doesn't that sound like a good idea now? And I wanted adults to be able to grow their own marijuana, like I have done now for about 14 years. So that was 96, 25 years ago. In 1997, they established E-Verify. E-Verify is a system whereby you can basically figure out if somebody's a legal or illegal citizen. The accuracy rate is like 99.8. So, I will provide a link to this. The essay I wrote is called "It's All Connected." Written a couple of years back. It's been read probably 8,000 times or more. The part in there I want you to go to is that the problem is that, you know, we call it the deep state, whatever we want to call it. But basically, you'll find in that article that Our government, through a U.S. agency called USAID, has been giving millions of dollars to George Soros and others, who in turn have been financing these caravans, bringing these illegals into the United States. Now, when Lou Dobbs aired this show where he disclosed this, Fox News called the guy anti-Semitic because it happens that George Soros is anti-Semitic. I don't give a damn what Soros is, I don't care about his religion, but this guy, it's not that he's Jewish, it's that he's a globalist scumbag. And the point I'm trying to make to you right now, I study history quite thoroughly, many other things. The fact of the matter is, our government is basically bringing illegal immigrants into this country. Those caravans you saw a couple of years back, those were financed by USAID, and it's just a fact. Today, I was reading about in the Epoch Times. I highly recommend that magazine. They were talking about the United Nations and migration networks. So the UN for years has been pushing migrants into, the EU, into England, into France, into the United States. They're all kind of connected. So, Soros is connected, the United Nations is connected. And they're all trying to basically push all these people into first world nations. So, when Biden came into office not too long ago, he completely reversed all the immigration policies of Donald Trump. He got rid of the stay in Mexico policy. He stopped completion of the wall. I mean, and when he was running for president, he was saying how he wanted millions of these illegal immigrants to come into our country. I mean, I'm sorry. The American people have been cut to the bone. The last thing we need right now, and it's nothing against these immigrants, but the last thing we need right now is more fucking immigration. I mean, this is bullshit. So, there's a bigger agenda afoot here. On March 20th, there were 44 global anti-globalist demonstrations throughout the world. And open borders and mass immigration is part of this globalist agenda that we're against, as is forced vaccinations, COVID passports. Yeah, we can't accept any of this stuff. These globalists, like in terms of the United States, they're eviscerating the First Amendment to free speech, the Second Amendment to own a gun. I mean, Biden has made it quite clear he wants to take away our gun rights. And then there's the Fourth Amendment, the right to be, the right for our privacy within our homes. I mean, everything we're doing, our phones are being tracked, our computers are being tracked, our Fourth Amendment, Second Amendment, First Amendment rights are being eviscerated. And that's exactly what the globalists want to do. So on March 20th, there were 44 demonstrations throughout the world. And they were not covered by the media. In a future video, I'm going to post a compilation of all the events with videos from each event. Somebody put that together. But I mean, basically what we're up against right now is the Fourth Industrial Revolution and all these globalists. And I mean, we've got Biden the American globalists. We got Merkel, the German globalist. We've got Macron, the French globalist. We've got Boris Johnson, the globalist for Great Britain. All these people are pushing the global agenda, which can be easily summarized by Sustainable Development Goals of the UN, Agenda 21 of the UN, Agenda 2030 of the UN. Basically, this is a program for global enslavement. When Biden was running for president, he was talking about build back better, build back better. Well, it turns out that Biden has spoken 9 times before the World Economic Forum over the last 20 years. And build back better is the slogan for the Great Reset from this head of the World Economic Forum, Klaus, I can't think of his last name. He looks like something, he looks like a villain out of a 007 movie. So, what's going on now is that Biden, he thinks we're so fucking stupid, It's like, it's like I have children and grandchildren, and it just kind of reminds me of a child trying to lie to me, oh, build back better, like we're not supposed to get what that is. And of course we don't get what that is, because even Tucker Carlson won't talk about the connection between the slogan build back better and Joe Biden. I mean, Joe Biden knows goddamn well that when he's saying build back better, he's talking about pushing this global agenda which is going to enslave everybody in the United States and everybody around the world. I'm going to kind of bring this to a close in a minute, but I always want you to look at the notes from my videos, because I've got links of things I want you to read, because you have to do your own research. I'm not trying, if you don't agree with me, that's fine, but I'll provide you some things I think that will help you understand what's going on. So basically what's going on now is, when Trump wanted to build the wall, that was $26 billion, okay? In the last year, because of this Plandemic, we have spent $5 to $6 trillion, and Biden seems to want to spend 5 or 6 more trillion dollars. To put it in perspective, Trump's wall at most would have cost $26 billion to build. And of course, as soon as Biden got in office, he canceled the whole damn thing. And so $1 trillion is 1,000 billion dollars. So by the time Biden gets done, I mean, we could be spending 10,000 billion dollars. I mean, money doesn't grow on trees, and what's going to happen is the value of money is going to just go down the toilet in terms of inflation as this money begins circulating in the economy. So this is untenable, I mean, if a family tried to do something like this, they would be out on the streets homeless, and we've got to stop it. So I'm going to finish up kind of here by saying this. There is an emerging global anti-globalist movement afoot, and I am gladly part of that, because people like me, we believe in individualism, we believe in a world that makes everybody, happy from birth to death. We certainly want that. we don't accept the climate change crap, and I'll try to include an essay on that too, because climate change is just a joke, you know. And even people like Tucker Carlson, who I like, they're not telling us the whole truth. And we're at a point now in human history, not just U.S. history, human history, because you have to understand, the smart meters, the 5G, the mass COVID vaccination with it's not really a vaccine, it's an mRNA, I don't know what you want to call it. It's not even really, we've never used such a thing on such a large population. And so, basically, where we are right now is there is an emerging movement against this globalist agenda. And that includes Biden's open borders policy. You know, it's just got to go. So, like I told you at the beginning, you know, the main point of this thing is, if you're in the United States, call your elected representatives and tell them you want every one of these illegal immigrants that came into this country since Biden got into office, and to make sure every single one of them is sent back home. And it's not because I dislike illegal immigrants. If you want to help with the problem in Central America, I would advise that you get rid of the GMO farming, because that probably erased perhaps as many as 50% of the jobs in Central America, you know, because GMO farming requires far less labor. So that's one of the things that's pushing these immigrants into the United States. So anyway, I've said basically what I've said. So I'll probably cut this off the tape, but one of my favorite songs, and I'm a little hippie, you know, so I was like 14 in '68. And I think maybe it was when I was 16 and 70, something like that, the Beatles came out with a song called Here Comes the Sun. And it was kind of interesting because it came out in the midst of the Vietnam War, and you know, we were all worried about being drafted and sent to a war that made absolutely no sense, you know. And yet, you know, the Beatles always kept this positive thing going. And you know, the song is like, well, it's one of my favorites from the Beatles. It's one of my favorites, period. So anyway, if I suck at this, then I just will cut it off. If not, I'll keep it. Anyway, it's such a happy song, you know. So.